श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. Yesterday we saw what is the food preference for a sattvic person and what should a person desiring to gain the sattvic quality should prefer. Now, the food preference of the rajasic and tamasic person needs to be explained. Food is a very important part in making our mind. Whatever we eat, that we are. In the middle of something, while explaining the tamoguna, there is one amedhya, non-vegetarian food, etc. It was explained. So there I was explaining a person who watches the mind ate, watches his mind and prana ate beef and found out that for a week his mind, he has not eaten, he wanted to just test for a period of over a week, his mind is completely animalistic, has had the animalistic instinct, and for 1 month his prana was not able to go to the old state for 1 month. It's like the case of liquor, which alcohol, which people say it takes at least 1 month to for that amount of whatever quality of alcohol which you add, that to get rid from your system, entire system. And for drugs, etc., it takes 3 to 6 months, they say. So we have to be very careful about the food we eat. That is why he is giving importance to this. Bhagavan is giving importance to this. Rajasic food. कटु अम्ल लवणात्युष्ण तीक्ष्ण रुक्ष विदाहिनः आहारा राजसेस्येष्टा दुःख शोकामयप्रदाः. कटु अम्ल लवण अत्युष्ण तीक्ष्ण रुक्ष विदाहिनः आहाराः राजसस्य इष्टाः दुःख शोक आमयप्रदाः. It's not कामयप्रदाः, it's आमयप्रदाः. Okay. Ati Ushna, in that word Ati should be connected with all, extreme. Ati is extreme. So, Ati Katu, Ati Amla, like that. Katu is basically the kind of, it is explained, Katu, normally we translate it as something else. Here he explains that it as a spicy food. But there is Ushna, Tikshna. Tikshna is also spice. What is the difference between Katu spice and Tikshna spice? The Katu spice is, like he is giving the example, Tikshna, Tatra Katu, Nimvadi, like the acidic quality. That is what we are referring to here as a Katu. Katu is the acidic, like the lemon juice, the citrus. So, citrus acid, like. So, all that is Katu. Okay. Amla is salty. No, Amla is again your acidic. Actually, this is Amla is also lemon. Amla we call it, no? So that and this is also acidic. But this acidic is different from that acidic. That is the difference. Like this gives a burning sensation kind of, right? So that is the Katu acidic. Lavana is salty. Ushna means hot. Tikshna means spicy. Ruksha means dry. Vidahina means that which troubles you, right? It brings you thirst. Aharaha rajaseshtaha. These are the foods which are very loved by the people who are rajasic. Dukkha shoka amay pradaha. They bring in sorrow, dukkha, sorrow, shoka, grief, and amaya, disease. Dukkha, sorrow. What is the difference? Dukkha, shoka. What is the difference? The difference is the experience while eating and the experience after eating. That is the difference. Okay. अतिशब्द कट्वादिषु सप्तस्वपि योजनीयः. कटुः तिक्तः कटुरसस्य तीक्ष्णशब्देन उक्तत्वात्. Ati should be associated with all the words, all the 7 words. Now, what is katu? Katu is spicy. Why? Katu is the word katu. The taste of katu is referred with the spice. Therefore, tatra ati katu nimbadi. The ati katu, very strong spice is nimb, etc. Now, atyamla, ati lavana, atyushnaha prasiddhaha. We are not going to even discuss about atyamla, very acidic, ati lavana, very salty, or atyushna, very hot. These we already know, so we are not going to talk about it. Ati tikshno marichadi, very spicy, like the chilies, etc. Ati rukshaha sneha shunyaha, kadgu kodravadi. The very dry, without, like the yesterday we said sneha, that which binds, that quality which binds, the wet kind of quality, that is not here in this kind of foods. Kadgu, kodrava, etc. These are different kinds of foods which are very dry in nature. Okay. Atidahi santapakah rajikadi. Atidahi means that which brings in the acidity, etc., or that which brings in thirst, etc. Lot of water you have to drink. So that kind of food, rajika, etc. Now, dukkham tatkalikim pidam. Dukkha is the immediate result which you experience while eating. Shokam paschadbhavi dormanasyam. Shoka is the one which you get later after eating the food. Amayam rogam cha dhatu vaishamya dwara pradatiti. Amayam means disease. So it brings in the disease. Troubles means disease. The disease it brings in by bringing in the dhatu vaishamya. The body is constituted of 5 elements, and the 5 elements in there are 7 salts, dhatus. Okay. So in homeopathy, there are different ways of treating. One is giving medicines, the essence from whatever is the antidote. The other is by treating it through the salts. So that is what we are talking about, dhatu vaishamyam. That there is a change in the salt. Or dhatu vaishamyam can be interpreted as a seen in the Ayurvedic Shastra. Ayurveda Shastra says your body is constituted of vata, pitta, kapha. So any of this, any change in this composition, whatever is your nature of the body, your body nature can be pitta specific or kapha specific. That doesn't really matter. It should be that specific. It should not be the other specific. So if there is a change in this composition, then there is disease, etc. That is what is said. These are the kinds of food which are preferred by people who are rajasic. So, like ati katu, I can think about. See, tikshna is a chili. Katu is a okay. It is not chili. It is not hot like chili. It's not spicy like chili, but it is having that hotness. Like it may not be sensed through your tongue, but it can be hitting you on your top of the head, like wasabi, or like this sesame seeds. The new sesame seeds, it is not dry yet. It's just harvested. That you paste, even the dry ones, if you paste it and use it, it will give you the same kind of a taste like wasabi. Okay, it will not hit you in the tongue, but it will hit you in the top of your head. So that is the kind of food which the Rajasic people prefer. Etehi lingam rajanya. When somebody prefers these kind of foods, then you have to understand that person is Rajasic. And should you avoid that person? No, it is not for avoiding that person. You have to understand that person. Then what? Why are you talking about that person? This is rasatvikaihi cha ete upekshinya ityartha. You have to avoid not the person, but this kind of food. If you want to gain the sattvic quality, then you have to avoid this food. We are talking about extremes of any of this, not just simply eating spice, salt, etc. You should not avoid spice or salt, etc. completely, totally. Like in North India, with dry roti, when you don't get anything, when you go out for bhiksha, when you don't get anything, people just pluck two chili, green chili, and then eat it. I have done it for quite some time. At that time, my threshold for eating this chili spice was too high. Now my threshold is too low. Even if I see chili, my stomach starts growling or paining. So that is the kind of food the Rajasic people prefer. Okay. Yata yamam gata-rasam puti paryushitam chayat uchchishtam cha amedhyam bhojanam tamasa-priyam. What is the food preference for tamasic person? Yata yamam gata-rasam puti paryushitam chayat uchchishtam cha amedhyam cha bhojanam tamasa-priyam. Yata yamam, half baked. Gata-rasam, there is no essence there, there is no taste of it. Puti, it is a old, it is endowed with a pungent smell, the bad smell. Paryushitam, it is old. Uchishtamapi, and uchishta, I have explained this uchishta earlier. Uchishta is the food already eaten by you or other person. Okay, you cannot keep it in the fridge and take it later. We'll come to that. Amedhyam cha. Amedhyam means that which is strictly said to be avoided by the Shastra, like your meat, etc. That can be amedhya, bhojanam, or anything which cannot be offered, like onions, garlics, etc. cannot be used for offering. So those kind of food we are talking about. Bhojanam, tamasa-priyam. These are foods which are preferred by tamasic people. Yata yamam. Yata yamam. Yata yamam, he says. Yata yamam. Ardhapakvam. Nirviryasya gata-raspadena uktattvaditi bhashyam. Yata yamam means half-baked. Why are you talking about half-baked? Because that which does not have essence is already explained by gata-rasam. Therefore, you have to interpret it in a different way. That is what Bhashya says. So, ardhapakvam. So, some people nowadays, they say, you should not cook the food too much. If you cook the food too much, the essence of the food, the minerals of the food is lost. So, that is what we are talking about. So, it may be lost, but it will be harmful for your body. Gata-rasam. Gata-rasam means virasatam praptam shushtam. It is dry. There is no essence there in that food. Completely dry food. This is a basic interpretation. There is another interpretation. Yata yamam. Yata yamam means pakvam sat praharadi vyavahitam odanadi shailyam praptam. See, it is cooked, but the time delay for the cooking and eating is one prahara. One prahara means 3 hours, almost 3 hours of time. So if it is beyond 3 hours, then that food is not consumable. Shaityam praptam. It has become cold. And Ayurveda Shastra very clearly says punarpakvam vishasamam. Heating it again is equivalent to eating poison. It makes the food poisonous. That is what Ayurveda Shastra says. All the disease we have is not because of eating healthy food. It is eating non-proper food. Eating this food is good, that food is good, and we keep it and save it and eat it. But the problem is that old food, that is a stale food. You should not eat that. Shaityam praptam. And that is why Shaityam praptam means it has gone cold. But that is why it's people nowadays, they have this, you cannot escape this 3 hour. You cannot strictly follow this 3 hour rule actually in nowadays. See, you have to go to office. So you have to eat your food in the morning. You have to carry your food for the afternoon. It's very difficult. Now, that is why probably this invention of this hot pack is good. You can keep it there in that, and it will be warm even after. Gata-rasam. Gata-rasam means he gave an example, explanation earlier. Now he is meaning dry. Gata-rasam means dry. Rasa means wet. Gata-rasam means it's dry. Now he is giving a different interpretation to that. Gata-rasam udhruta saram machita dugdhadi iti anye. Where the essence is completely removed. That is gata-rasa. Rasa is essence also. So where the essence is completely removed. Like Machita dugdhadi, like the curd which is churned, not curd, the okay, see nowadays even the milk which we drink is coming under these conditions. See, earlier we used to have this milkman or milkwoman come to our homes and supply us with the fresh milk. Now, what happens with the milk? The milk, now we are in Tirthamalai. In this area, there are a lot of suppliers to this milk company. So, they have collection centers here. They collect the milk. It goes to a place called Mysore. It takes almost 1 day to collect it from all the adjacent villages. And it reaches after a day. And the processing and packing, because you have to remove. Now the milk, they say 25% fat, 50% fat, 75%, 60%, like that, different levels of fat. So meaning they remove the other fat. So that is that unpacking and pasteurizing, etc., that takes 1 more day, and it comes the 3rd day. And when you are buying, we don't know. Okay, even if we buy, we don't even know if we are going to drink it that very day. We'll put it in the fridge and use the previous day's milk, etc. So though these rules have become kind of redundant nowadays, but this is what all the problem is. The reason for all the problem is, the cause for all the problem is this. It says matita dugdadhin puti durgandham. Puti means it smells bad. Those kind of food. Parushitam pakvam sad ratriantaritam. See, if it is cooked and it is taken after 3 days, that is one. If it is cooked and it one whole night has passed, then that is parushita. That is impure food. And nowadays people store food. This is Monday cooked food. This is Tuesday cooked food. This is Thursday cooked food, etc. They have different labels for different foods. Chena with the cha tatkala unmadakaram dhaturadi samuchiyate. See, dhatura, etc. This dhatura is a kind of flower, the fruit. It has a flower also, white flower, a lengthy white flower, which is a very preferred flower for Shiva. And this dhatura, it's also called thorn apple kind of, okay, thorn apple. It's a plant. So this seed, when you crush it and drink it, it gives an intoxication. It also makes you crazy. That's a different issue. So intoxicates. Those kind of food also is taken into consideration, like the alcohol, etc. also are included. It destroys the mind, meaning it removes the sattvic quality, brings in the tamasic quality. Yet ati prasiddham dushtatvena uchishtam bhukta avashishtam. Uchishta, what does that mean? No, it's like the food which is already consumed by someone else. See, whether it is consumed by someone else or you yourself, you should not keep it and save it and eat it later. That is not accepted, because once you eat, you should not finish it. Otherwise, you have to dispose it of, and you should not take more than what you need, because that becomes uchishta. Eating uchishta of somebody else is not accepted. Uchishta of guru is accepted, but uchishta of other person is not accepted in the shastra. That is what the shastra says. Okay, so now bhukta avasishtam. Amedhyam. Amedhyam means the uchishta is also of different types. You yourself eating, or someone has eaten that food, that leftover, that is uchishta. Okay, now while cooking without taking bath, that is uchishta. After taking bath, while cooking, you and use the same ladle, that is uchishta. Or you take some, put it in your hand. When for prasada, you should never taste, but for daily cooking, some people do, they put it in their hand and salt, I need more salt, so they pick salt without washing the hand. They pick up the salt with the same hand and use it. That is uchishta. While eating, they use the ladle to serve for others. That is uchishta. So different levels of uchishta are there. So all that should be avoided. So amedhyam. Amedhyam means ayagnya arham. Ayagnya arham. Amedhyam. Ayagnya arham iti. Ayagnya arham iti. Arham ashuchi mamsavi. The food which is not, which cannot be used for offering, that is amedhya, like the meat, etc. Apicha iti vaidyaka shastra uktam apathyam samuchyate. With apicha, you have to include also this food which is apatya, mean you are given pathya, and there is apatya. Pathya means the food which you can consume while you have some, you are undergoing some treatment, that is pathya. These are the food which you can consume. So whatever other than that is apatya. Like, see, when you have jaundice, let us suppose, when you have jaundice, the doctor treats you and he tells you you can consume everything except this chicken, this liquor, etc., oily, spicy food, etc. Now this fellow will consume only that. That is apatya. So you should have to avoid those foods. Etadrisham yadbhojanam bhojyam tat tamasasya priyam satvikaihi atiduraduvekshinim ityartha. So these kind of food are very lovingly accepted by people who are tamasic. Okay, so that till that it is same like for rajasic, but in rajasic he said ete upekshiniya ityartha, these should have to be given up. But here, read it carefully, he says satvikaihi atidurad upekshaniyam. These are the tamasic food are the food which has to be avoided from far off. They should not even be brought in closer. That is the idea. Iti etadrisha bhojanasya dukkha shoka amaya-pradhatvam ati prasiddhamiti kanthato noktam. But that food is not going to give me any disease, etc., right? Old food, etc., because it is not said dukkha shoka amaya-pradha. That is said in rajasic, not in tamasic, right? But it is not specifically said, because it is known factor. You are going to eat some food which is stale, it is going to spoil your health, it is going to bring in sorrow, grief. So there is no need for saying it specifically. That is what he says. Atracha kramena rasyadi vargah satvikah kattvadi vargah rajasah yatayamadi vargah tamasah iti uktam ahara vargatayam. So in order, we have established the food which should be consumed by sattvic people is rasadi, etc., with endowed with essence, etc. And the Rajasic people, they consume the spicy food, etc. And Tamasic people, they consume the stale food, etc. In this way, the food preferences for these three groups are specified. Tatra satvika varga अविरोधित्वम सात्विक वर्ग विरोधित्वम इतर वर्गद्वये द्रष्टव्यम्. Okay, see, sattvic and there is rajasic and tamasic. Okay, there is person A, person B and C. Person A is the person who supports something. Person B and C are aiding him to support. Okay, then it can be accepted. The B and C also can be accepted here. Okay, now that is one option. Second option is person A supports something. Person B and C are against it. Now that is not then you cannot accept the person B and C if you are accepting the person A, right? So like there is war between India, Russia and Ukraine. Okay, now whenever there is a meeting regarding this in UN, they pass some resolution against Russia. India abstains from that. India does not support Russia or oppose Russia, does not support Ukraine or oppose Ukraine, but staying silent is also a kind of support and opposing. That is how people perceive it, right? So here also, if you want sattvic quality, you should not even have this association with these two kind of foods. That is what he says, because they are completely enemy to this sattvic quality. तथा हि अतिकटुत्वादिकं रस्यादि विरोधी तादृशस्य अनास्वाद्यत्वात्. Like we know, it is very spicy, etc. It is a contrary to the rasyadi essence. See, you add more salt or more spice or more acid, lemon into it, any food. The first thing you taste is this food has a specific taste. So when you eat with a lot of spice, that specific taste is destroyed. It will only feel salty or spicy. You say it's spicy, it's salty. That should not be the taste of the food, right? So he says it is contrary to the natural taste of the food. Rukshatam snigdhata virodhi. Rukshatam being dry is contrary to the wetness of the food. Tikshnatam tikshnatva vidahitva विधायित्वे धातु पोषण विरोधित्वात् स्थिर विरोधी स्थिरत्व विरोधिनी. So तीक्ष्णत्व, if it is spicy and if it is going to bring in more thirst, then it is contrary to nourishing your dhatus, the basic elements of your body, and it is contrary to the sthirata. The food doesn't stick to your body. So therefore that should be avoided. Atyushnatwadikam hridyatva virodhi. If it is too hot, then you cannot enjoy the food. So there is no satisfaction possible. So that is contrary to that. Amyap pradattam ayusattva bala arogya virodhi. So if it is going to bring in disease, then it is contrary to being healthy and being a sattvika. Dukkha shoka pradattam dukkha sukha priti virodhi. If it's going to be bringing immediate pain, immediate sorrow and later sorrow, then it is going to be contrary to happiness and satisfaction. So evam sattvika varga virodhitvam rajasa varga spashtam. So therefore it is very clear that the rajasic group of foods are contrary to sattvic food. Tatha tamasa varge api gatarasatva yatayamatva paryushittattvadi. So in the tamasic food also, it is stale, it is smelly, it is spoiled, etc. Those kind of descriptions which we saw, yatha sambham, as whatever fits, rasyatva, snigdhatva, sthiratva virodhini. We have to accept it to be contradictory to the food with that essence, the taste, food with that wetness, food with that salty, which helps you to gain the strength of the food, nourishment of the food, etc. Putitva uchishtatva amedhyatvani hridyatva virodhini. Having bad smell, being uchishta, being tasted, having the association with saliva already, amedhya, the meat, etc. This kind of food is contradictory to the hridyatva, palatability. Okay. Now, if hridyatva, it gives a satisfaction. That satisfaction, palatability in the satisfaction does not exist for sattvic person. Ayusattwadi virodhitvam tu spashtameva. It is going to be contrary to your lifespan, and it is going to be an enemy to your lifespan. To the sattva is very clear. It is evident there. So see, gatarasa, he said, the essence which where the essence is removed. Now, in many parts here, I see the chili powder, etc. It is they crush these chilies and take the essence out of the chili. They make the Tabasco, etc. sauce and send it away, and they take this dry powder which has no essence of chili whatsoever. They add acid to it, some acid, they dip it in some acid, they put some acid to it to get that spiciness. That is why when you eat some spices, some chili powders, you have a itch in the throat. That is because of the acid quality. Okay. Now, राजसवर्गे दृष्टविरोधि मात्रम, तामसवर्गे तु दृष्टविरोध इति अतिशयः. See, these rajasic food and tamasic food should be avoided. Yes, but there is a difference between this avoidance also, because the rajasic food is going to only bring in the sorrow which is perceived sorrow. That is why it says drishta virodha matra. There is only contradiction with the perceived. But with respect to the tamasic food, the contradiction with respect to the perceived and non-perceived, here and hereafter. Like the Shruti, if it says don't consume alcohol, etc. If you are going to consume alcohol, then it is not going to be, after consuming what kind of nonsense he is going to do. So it is going to be a problem here and hereafter, because you have crossed the limits of Shastra. Shastra said something and you have crossed it. Therefore, it is going to cause pain later also. That is the idea. Okay. Idani karapraptam trividham yajnam aha trivihi. After ahara, the food, the next in order is the yajna. The three kinds of yajna according to the three characteristics, the three qualities of the people. That is explained here in 3 shlokas. Afalakankshirbhir yajnah vidhi drishto yah ijyate yashtabhyam eva iti manah samadhaya sa satvikah. Afala akankshibhihi yajnah vidhi drishtah yah ijyate yashtabhyam eva iti manah samadhaya sa satvikah. Sattvic yajna is the sattvic fire oblation is the sattvic worship is afala akankshibhihi, done by the people who are not interested in the results of the karmas. Vidhidrishto yajna yajyate, and they perform the karmas which are prescribed by the vidhi, the Vedas, and with the sense of duty. Yashtavyam yaviti, this has to be performed by me, so I am going to do this. In this way, they pacify their mind, manas samadhaya, they pacify by their mind, they gain this determination and they perform. That is what is sattvic yajna. Agnihotra, darsha purnamasa, chaturmasya, pashubandha, jyotishtomadi yajna dvividha, kamyo nityascha. There are different kinds of yajnas which are prescribed in the Vedas. The example for few, he is counting, enumerating few to understand. Agnihotra, Agnihotram, Juhya, Swarga, Kamaha, like that the Vedas says. So a simple fire oblation, any fire oblation is Agnihotra. A simple fire oblation is Agnihotra here. Darsha Purnamasa, Abhyam Yajeta, that is the Veda. Darsha Purnamasa, on 2 particular days. This is Darsha is a new moon day, full moon day, new moon day, and Purnamasa is full moon day. Okay, so you have to perform these karmas on these 2 particular days. Under Chaturmasya, a karma which spans for 4 months. So that is the specific karma. Pashubandha, it is a part of a Soma Yaga. There is a yaga called Soma Yaga, Somene Jeta, with Soma Rasa, the essence, which is the juice which is taken from the Soma creeper, that should be used. In that yaga, this is one part of that yaga. Agnishtoma and Agnishtoma, etc. Agni and Soma are the deities for that yaga. You perform these yagas. These yagas, these fire oblations are of 2 types. Dividaha. What are they? Kamya, Nityascha. They are Kamya and Nitya. They can be desire propelled or a regular day-to-day karma. See, Nitya, I cannot say it as a everyday karma. It has to be performed regularly. That is what Nitya here means. It can be regular karma or it can be desire propelled karma. Okay. Phala sanyogena choditaha kamyaha. Sarvanga upasamharaneva mukhyakalpena anushtayah. See, if it is associated with the, attached with the result, if it is oriented with the if it is result oriented, if there is a result oriented desire attached to that karma, then that is a kamya. If you are going to perform kamya karma, if for gaining the complete result, total result, proper result, you have to perform it entirely with all the nitty-gritties, whatever angas, whatever small parts which are said in that, you have to perform each and every one of them. Mukhya kalpena. That is the primary focus for that yajna. Phala sanyogam vina jivanadi nimitta sanyogena choditaha. See, without the association attachment for the result, just as a lifestyle, this is said by the, prescribed by the Shruti for me, therefore I have to perform this. Sarvanga upasamharas asambhavi. Though there is no possibility of performing it with all the limbs of the karmas. See, not all the limbs of the karmas are possible in today's life. If you are going to do Soma Yaga, where will you bring in the Soma juice from, the Soma creeper from? Because the Soma creeper should be bought with not money. It should be bought with a year-old cow, which is red in color, which has a yellow eye, etc. There are different specifications set there. So you have to buy it with that. And there are different nitty-gritties in that. That is impossible in today's world. Okay, and this person who performs that karma should also be a qualified person who has performed it already and done it in tradition. How many people will you be able to bring in for that kind of person? A. B is you have to pay them as prescribed in the Vedas. What are the rules? The first person you have to pay this much amount. Then second person, the assistant to him should be paid this much. So there are so many people involved in that, and you have to pay. And in each group there will be a head, assistant to assistant, and assistant to assistant. 4 people in each group. So what is that you have to pay? Not money. You have to pay them cow. You have to pay them with cows, not one cow. Cows. So hundreds and thousands of cows you have to use. Now, where will you go for that many cows? Okay, sir, I'm ready to give that cow as gift, as the fees for this yaga. But is it going to be a fees or is it going to be a punishment for that Brahmin who is going to take that cow? Where will he be keeping it and where will he be taking care of it? Where is the place for it for him? So it is all going to be a very horrible thing. So, and gold, it says you have to pay him this much of gold. Where will you go for that many amount of gold here now? So it is all very costly issue nowadays. So now, if you are not able to perform it yourself, pratinidhi upadanena amukhyakalpena api anushteyah. Whether you are able to perform it or not, you should have to at least appoint a substitute for you. Pratinidhi is substitute. You appoint a substitute for it and you make him do that for you. The result will come to you because you are paying for that karma. Okay, so that is nitya. Tatra sarvanga upasamhara asambhaveti. Pratinidhi उपादाय प्रतिनिधिम् उपादाय अवश्यं यष्टव्यम् एव प्रत्यवाय परिहाराय आवश्यक जीवनादि निमित्तेन च निमित्तेन चोदितत्वात् इति मनः समाधाय. So though they all the limbs of the karmas, performing all the limbs of the karmas are impossible, you are appointing a substitute for yourself, and you have to perform with the sense that of duty that this has to be done. With that kind of sense of duty, you are performing those karmas. So why pratyavaya parihare? To get rid of the defect called pratyavaya. If you don't perform akarane pratyavaya, that is a statement. If you don't perform, you get this defect, this dosha of pratyavaya. It's a sin. So to avoid the sin of pratyavaya, you are performing it by yourself or by making a substitute, by appointing a person for that. So for the life also, lifestyle also, choditva, because it is prescribed by the Vedas, manas samadhaya. With this determination, with this by pacifying the mind means by determining, by having this clarity that this has to be performed. Afalakangshibihi, without the attachment to the results. If you are going to be attached to the result, it becomes rajas karma, which we are going to see in the next shloka. So without attachment to the result, antakara shuddhyarthitaya, for the purity of mind, one who performs that kama prayoga vimukhihi vidhi drishtah. Kama prayoga vimukhihi, a person who has turned away from the results, the application, desire oriented application. So that person vidhi drishtah yatha shastram nishchitah yo yajnah yujyate. So whatever is seen in the Vedas, whatever are prescribed in the Vedas, that one who performs anushtiyate, one who performs that, one who practices that, sa yatha shastram antakara shuddhyartham anushtiyamanah nitya prayogah satviko gniha. That kind of karmas which he is performing for the sake of purity of heart and not for the result of that karmas, those prescribed karmas, that kind of regular karma, the regular practice is what is called as satvika practice of yajna. We'll come see the next. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.